We're now on Daf Kuf Zayin Amid Beis. And here he didn't use the word behema, and therefore he has to include ophos. The Mishnah says, Mosif aleim tar uben yona. So he has to bring either a turtle dove or a pigeon to make sure that he covers an oath as well. And it's going to cost him a pretty penny. Harei toda ushlamim. Either I took upon myself to bring a toda or a shlamim, yavi keves. Peirashti min habakar. I specifically asked for it, required that I bring a toda or a shlamim from bakar. Anything pirashti yavi par upara. Because in the case of shlamim, it could be a female animal. But that's not enough. He's got to bring not only a bull and a cow, but also egel v'egla, male calf and a female calf. So this is in a case where he says bakar, specifically cattle. He's offered all these possibilities, include both male and female, because they're all valid. Mina behema. So he didn't say bakar, he said behema. Is then, again, we're talking about a toda shlamim, is any of them apirashti yavi par upara, egel v'egla, ayel urechela, soir useira, gdi ugdia tle vitalia. So again, he specified an animal. He doesn't remember which animal. He has to bring every one of the animals that are valid for these karbanos. And any one of these can be the animal that he specified. Harei shar is yavi hu unesachav b'mana. The minimum amount that he has to bring, meaning the value of a shar, is 100 dinar or a mana. Rashi says here, or maybe Tosfos Yontif, anyway, that the value of the shar, together with its nesachim, the minchas nesachim, the wine libations, has to equal a mana, which is 25 sloim, and a sela is 4 dinrim, so we're talking about 100 dinrim. And Rashi says this is all based on halacha l'Moshe miSinai. Egel. Harei egel. A calf. Yavi hu unesacha b'chamish. Again, a halacha Moshe miSinai, says Rashi, it's got to be worth 5 sloim, which is the equivalent of 20 dinrim. Wow, that's 1/5. Ayil, he said, I'm going to bring an ayil. Yavi hu unesacha b'shtayim. Wow, it really went down to 2 sloim. Keves yavi hu unesacha b'sela. Okay. Next, shar b'mana. If he said specifically, I'm going to bring a shar that's worth a mana, yavi b'mana chutz min nesachim. But until now, we said that the mana includes the value of the nesachim. But now he has to spend more money because in addition to the money for the ox itself, he's got to bring money for the nesachim. Okay, it doesn't tell you if there's a certain value. Okay, fine. Egel b'chamesh. Now he specifies that the egel itself is 5 sloim. Yavi chamesh chutz min nesachim. It's got to add the nesachim. Ayil b'shtayim. right? A ram with two sloim. Yavi shtayim chutz min sachav. He has to add in the sachav. Keves besela. Yavi besela chutz min sachav. Shor b'mona vehevi. Oh, now we have a machlokes about the following: Shor b'mona vehevi shnayim b'mona. Now look, he brought a money's worth of an ox for his carbon, but he brought two different oxen, the total value of which is a mana lo yotza. Why? Because he said shar b'mana, so the individual shar. So if he brings a shar that's worth a little bit less than a mana, then he's not yotze. Even if he's missing only one dinar's worth, which is a fraction. In other words, it was worth 99 dinrim, but not 100 dinrim, is v'zeh manachas dinar is lo yotze. Shachar, he said, I'm going to bring a black ox. Hevi Lovin, he brought a white one. Lovin Hevi Shachar. Gadol Vehevi. Oh, now this is going to be a machlokas tanoim. Gadol Vehevi Katan. Lo yotze. So he pledged a specific type of an ox. Black, white, or he pledged a larger ox, which is worth more, and he brought a smaller ox, lo yotze. Katan Vehevi Gadol Yotze. What happens? He pledged a smaller ox, a less expensive ox, and he brought a larger ox, more expensive, is according to Tanakam, he was Yotze. That's called Yesh B'chal Masayim Mona. Rebbe Yomi Lo Yotze. Rebbe says no. He pledged a smaller ox and he brought a larger ox. That's not exactly what he pledged. And now we have a machlokes at the beginning of the Mishnah between the Tanakama of Elazar ben Azariah about the minimum requirement of somebody who didn't specify an ola. Is it to bring a lamb or it can bring an oaf, v'lo pligi? Ah, very good. See, we were very nervous about this because why would the Chacham disagree with Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah? Why can't he bring a bird? Mar ki asre umar ki asre. In other words, it depends on the local situation, wherever you are. So there's no machlokas here. And the question is, what does a person usually have in mind? Tanakama lived in a place where lambs were less expensive than birds, and therefore he brings a lamb, the least expensive. But Elazar ben Azariah lived where birds were less expensive, he leaves the least expensive, therefore he brings birds. Torah Rabbana, we learned in a brisa, Harei alai ola bisela lamizbeach. Right, he took upon himself a carbon ola that should cost a sela, yavi keves, because a keves is worth a sela. The only carbon that is worth a keves is worth a sela is the keves. Pirashti yovi mikol dover shekar b'sel legavi mizbech. Pirashti min abokar v'eni yodeh ma pirashti yovi par v'egel. Amai v'leise par mimanavshach. Right? L'chora, he should be able to bring a par, and whether or not, he took upon himself to bring a par, which is much more expensive than an egel, then certainly he is bringing something. He may have pledged an egel which is less expensive. He brought a par which is more expensive. So that's machlokas Rebbe and Chachamim. Hamani Rebbe hiti Amar Katan Ve'evi Gadol Lo Yotze. Frek the Gemara, Rebbe, what are you going to do with the Seifa? Ema Seifa Shar b'mana ve'hevi shnayim b'mana lo yotze. So the Gemara assumes now in the Kasha that since the total value of the two shvarim, the two oxen, was a mana, therefore he should be yotze.